Hello everybody, welcome back to another episode of Earth to Rocco. Today we're gonna make a creamy broccoli soup without any cream. Even before we went vegan, this was always a family favorite. One day I called my mom when I was feeling really sick and asked her how to make broccoli soup, and coincidentally she was making it that night too. But whether you're sick or not, this is a great recipe for any night of the week. You can make it very quickly and just need a few simple ingredients. Let's start cooking. So the first step is to cut the broccoli before you rinse it. So I'm just gonna cut the florets off, and it doesn't need to be perfect. And now I'll put them in a strainer. I'm just gonna go rinse this and set it aside. So now we'll cut the rest of the vegetables. I'll start with the potatoes, and I'm gonna cut them into about 1 or 2 inch chunks. The potatoes are important because that's what's gonna make our soup super creamy. A super creamy soup. I'm gonna show you a neat trick when preparing your celery. Use a peeler to remove the fibers, which can become stringy in your soup. We can cut these a little bit bigger than the potatoes because they won't take as long to cook. I've peeled my carrots already, and I'm gonna cut them a little bit smaller like the potatoes because they'll take longer to cook. And lastly, I have a small onion that I'm just gonna cut into large chunks. So I put my chopped potatoes, onion, carrot, and celery all in one bowl because they're gonna cook at the same time. We're gonna add in the broccoli later along with 2 cloves of garlic. I'm using a large pot, and I'm gonna cover the bottom of it with olive oil. We'll turn the stove on to medium-high heat. Now we'll throw in our onion, celery, carrot, and potatoes. I'm gonna let this saute for a few minutes until the onions are slightly translucent. Now I'm gonna add in the garlic and the broccoli. I'm gonna add some salt and black pepper. Now I'm just gonna cover this and let it saute for a few minutes. Once the broccoli reaches this vibrant green color, you can add in your broth. I'm gonna use a whole carton of vegetable broth. You want your vegetables to be almost totally submerged, but you can leave about 1 inch from the top. So I'm gonna add in a little bit of water. Right now I'm just gonna cover it and let the liquid come to a boil. Now that the liquid is boiling, we're just gonna reduce the heat and let it simmer for about 15 minutes until everything is soft and tender. My vegetables now are nice and fork tender. This is what you want to achieve in order to blend it easily. If the liquid is still boiling, just let it sit for a bit before you start blending. I'd highly recommend using an immersion blender to blend your soup. However, if you don't have one, you can use a regular blender, but you will just need to make sure that it cools down a bit more. I'm gonna start by placing the immersion blender right in the bottom of the pot. Now blend away. As I'm blending it, I'm just lifting the immersion blender up and down slightly. Just don't lift it above the liquid, otherwise you'll get splattered. I'm just gonna do a taste test to see if it needs more salt. Just a tiny bit. Now this is ready to serve. I haven't had this soup in a long time, and wow, I've been missing out. It did come out a little bit watery, so I think I'll hold back a bit on the water next time, but the flavor is all there. It's hearty, nutritious, and delicious. Thank you for joining me in creating this super healthy, creamy broccoli soup. It's really easy and you can experiment with whatever vegetables you like. If you liked today's video, make sure to give it a thumbs up and hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with my latest vegan recipes. Head on over to earth2rocco.com for the ingredients and instructions for today's recipe and more. Until next time.